Hello, dear students. My name is Tinder Kaur, and this lesson is for Class 11 English Core from NCERT book Hornbill. The objective is to familiarize you all with some information about the author and the summary of the chapter The Portrait of a Lady. First of all, let's talk about the author Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh was born on 2nd February 1915 and died on 20th March 2014. He was an Indian author, lawyer, journalist, and politician. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in 1956. This became his famous novel. Now let's talk about the story. In this story, the author draws a pen portrait of his grandma. It is his insight about her through his own eyes. He beautifully unfolds his relationship with her while describing her appearance and daily activities. The writer recalls his grandmother as a short, healthy, and slightly bent. Her hairs were silver in color and had wrinkled face. She used to walk around the whole house in white clothes. She kept her one hand resting on her waist and other hand was telling the beads of her rosary. The writer thinks of her as not very pretty but constantly beautiful all the time. He compares her calm face with the winter landscape during their lengthy stay in the village. Grandmother woke him up from the bed in the early morning, organized his breakfast, and sent him to the school. On their way back to the home, she used to give the steel chapatis to the street dogs. The turning point in their beautiful relationship arrived when they went to live in a city. Now, the writer used to go to the school on a school bus and study subjects like English, physics, mathematics, and many more. Those his grandmother could not understand at all. His grandmother could no longer go to school with him to send him. She felt upset that there was no teaching about God at the city school. Instead, he was given music lessons, but she said nothing. When the writer went to a university, he got a separate room in his house. The common link of the relationship between the grandson and the grandmother was broken now. Grandmother rarely talked to anyone in the house now. She spent plenty of her time sitting besides her spinning wheel and reciting prayers of God. She started feeding the sparrows, birds in the afternoon. When the writer left for abroad for his further studies, his grandmother did not get disturbed at all. Rather, she saw him off at the airport. Seeing her grandmother at this old age, the writer was thinking that it might be his last meeting with his loving grandmother. But when he came back home after a duration of 5 years, her grandmother was there to welcome him back, and he saw her celebrate his return. The next morning, after the return of his grandson, she got ill. Although the doctor told that it was a slight fever and would go away very soon, but she was sure that her end was near. She went to her bed, praying and telling the beads till her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell down from her lifeless hand. The sparrow had came to mourn the death of the grandmother. All the sparrows flew away without making any noise when the dead body of the old lady was carried away for the last rites. To sum up the portrait of the lady summary, the writer and his grandmother had a beautiful bond between them and loved each other a lot. The story tells us how beautiful a relationship can become between a grandson and his grandmother.